Hello my friends, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a get ready with me. I just showered and washed my hair. That's why it looks a little funky. But what I like to do is before I dry my hair, I will do my makeup. That way I'm not putting too much heat on my hair. So I'll get my makeup started and then dry the front and then finish my makeup. So first things first, I'm going to be using the Neutrogena Hydro Boost water gel. This is really all the skincare I do besides using the Neutrogena Hydro Boost face wash to wash off my makeup. My skincare routine is not very extensive. I have learned the less I put on my skin, the better for my skin. When I start using a bunch of products, that's when my skin starts breaking out. You know, maybe there is a period of time where your skin has to get used to the products that you're using, but I feel like every time I start to put more skincare on my face, the more problems I have. So I'm just gonna do what works best for me. You do what works best for you and your skincare. But I do exfoliate my skin probably like once a week, but I use a washcloth with the face wash that I use. So I don't use an actual like exfoliator product. I just use a washcloth and it keeps my skin clear. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So that is done. I'm gonna let that soak in for just a little bit. Sometimes in my hair, what I'll use is the Miracle Leave-In product from It's a 10. I don't always use this, but sometimes when my hair is dry from washing it every day, because sometimes I go just a couple days without washing my hair, but today I decided to wash it and I washed it yesterday, so I noticed that it'll be a little more dry whenever I wash it 2 days in a row. So I just put some of this leave-in product in. Okay, so before I start on my makeup while my skincare sets in, I am going to dry the front part of my hair, because if I don't dry the front part of my hair, it will get a little crazy looking. And I like the front part of my hair to be like smooth. So what I do is I just get a round brush like this. I'm not really even sure where I got it. It's a Nanothermic from Olivia Garden. And I just brush all of like my front pieces down like this. And then I gather like my, I don't want to call them bangs because I don't have bangs, but I gather my hair like this. Put it in my other hand. And then I just do it like this. Put it on my hairdryer and then I just blow dry them all down. And then, once that first pass is done, I get it again. Do the same thing. Okay, and then to let those cool where they need to be, I leave all the hair in front and I put my round brush like this on my head and I sort of like roll it to get all the hair, and then this smooths out the sides of my hair as well. And then, same thing on the other side. I just take my brush like this, gather up my hair, and dry the other side. And then I let all of this cool down before I move it around, like before I flip it back. Okay, and then what I do is I just get my fingers and I run my fingers through my hair, find my part again, and just sort of like lays kind of how I like it. It doesn't always work out for the best, but worked out today, which I'm happy about. but the back of my hair is still kind of damp, as you can see, like on both sides. So once the front of my hair is dried and done, I will do my full face of makeup, and then I will come back and finish drying my hair because I do have these like little curly pieces underneath, and those are really the only curly pieces that I have on my head. So once my hair is just like damp in the back, I will dry it. Just to sort of like cut down on the amount of heat that I put on my hair. So my hair is done for now. I'm not a professional at my hair, and I'm also not a makeup artist either. This is just sort of what I like to do day to day, because I get a lot of questions and comments and a few compliments on my makeup, and I figured I would just go ahead and share one full video of everything that I use and how I do it. That way, if you guys are wondering what products and things like that, it's all in one video for you. For my makeup, I have been switching off between a couple different products just depending on the day. For concealer, I don't use any primers or anything before I start my makeup. I really only use primers if I'm going to like a special event and I need my makeup to last a good amount of time. So for concealer, I have been either using the Maybelline Eraser Multi-Use Concealer, which as you can see, it's well loved, it's almost gone, or the Tarte Shape Tape. I am in shade 120 for the eraser and 29N light medium for the Tarte Shape Tape. This stuff is great. I prefer this over the other one, but this is really expensive, so I'm trying to like slow down the use of it, and I got this and I use this whenever I want more full coverage than this, but this is buildable. I'll use this one today just to show you how I use it and how little of product I use on my face, because I don't like a ton of like foundation and stuff, because as the day goes on, I feel like it moves around and my face gets itchy, and it ends up not looking very good by the end of the day. So with this stuff, but I use a little bit under my eyes like that. I put a little bit on the top of my eyelids so my eyeshadow will stick, and then I just put a little bit on my cheeks like this, and then anywhere else that needs a little bit of coverage, and I'll also put some right here. So that's basically all the coverage that I put on my face, and then I take my old and crusty sponge. I'm gonna get it wet first before I use it. I always like to wet my sponge before I start using it because I feel like that's what helps the product blend in the most. Get my sponge and I just start patting it in to my face wherever I need the coverage. I only put coverage where I need it, which is like the center of my face and under my eyes. I don't really need any under here. I don't typically put like concealer under there, but I will put foundation down there if I do decide to wear foundation. But lately I've just been enjoying how this looks and the minimal amount of product that I put on my face. So I try to not put too much makeup in between my eyebrows because I have this wrinkle that, and when I go like this, my makeup settles in that wrinkle and it ends up looking worse. So I just try not to put too much there, so that way it doesn't settle in. Okay, now that that is all blended in, that's pretty much it. I will need a lighter shade of the Tarte Shape Tape when my tan from the summer wears off. It's slowly starting to fade, so I'm going to need a lighter color. But if you're interested in the Tarte Shape Tape and you've been wanting to get it, but you haven't been wanting to spend that much money on it, wait for like Black Friday, like Cyber Monday, Black Friday deals. It's usually 50% off, and that's right around as much as like a drugstore concealer. So definitely keep your eye out around Black Friday because it usually goes on major sale, and that's typically when I buy mine unless I run out mid-year. But now I'm just taking the L'Oreal Infallible 24 Hour Fresh Wear. I'm in the shade 120. I just take that on a fluffy brush and I set my whole face with it. I put this also where I didn't put any concealer, so that probably helps it blend into my face a little bit more too. I make sure to set under my eyes as well so the Tarte Shape Tape doesn't crease. Okay, and then I take my Eco Tools blush brush and my NARS Laguna bronzer. I also use the Physicians Formula one, and maybe I'll do like a whole like drugstore makeup get ready with me. But this is just what I have been using, and as you can see, it's almost gone and it's well loved. So I take this and I put this on the top of my forehead. The key with bronzer is just blending. Blend, don't be afraid of it, and blend it all in. So I just get a bunch on my brush and I will just start blending it, because then I go back through with my powder brush and I'll blend where I need the lighter to be. So I just get a bunch and go under my cheekbones. And when I do it, I don't like do this, I go in big motions, and that kind of helps it blend into my cheek as well. And then I take some under my jawline and down my neck, and sometimes I'll put a little bit on my ears as well. Go down my temple. I do big motions on my cheeks. And then under my jaw and down my neck. And then what I do is, instead of like contouring my nose, because I don't have enough time for that, I just take a little bit of bronzer on my brush and I do this, which is probably not the proper technique, but my nose isn't completely white in the middle of my face with all the bronzer. So just make sure everything is like blended in really, really well to make it look the most natural on your face. So that's done. Next up, my blush changes every single day, but lately I have been using the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in Blushing Bride. This thing is also well loved as well. I take it on the what's this called? Real Technique, I think. The buffing brush. This is not a blush brush, but this is what I use it for. Get some on my brush and I just go on the tops of my cheeks. Some people like to keep their blush back here, but I like to put it on the middle of my face as well. That's just what I prefer. I think it looks better than putting it only on the outsides. So, and then I take some blush off my temples as well. And then I'll put some on my nose too, just so that my nose kind of blends in. So my face is done at this point. I don't use any highlighter or anything, but once everything is on, I like to go back in with my blush brush and just sort of like go around the bronzer and the blush where it's supposed to be lighter, because the inside of your face, like right here, is supposed to be lighter and the outside is supposed to be darker. So I just go back in and sort of blend it and make sure there's no harsh lines or anything like that. Okay, so then for my eyes, lately I have been getting some compliments on the way that I've been doing them lately. I do them differently every single day. Sometimes I just use some bronzer, put some bronzer on my eyes and put some mascara on and call it a day. But other times when I feel like doing a little bit more, I've been using the MAC, what is this called? Nude Model, I think, palette. Yeah, Nude Model palette from MAC. And this is what it looks like. There are a select few colors that I have been using. Most of the time I use these dark ones on the end, but I have been using this color. What is this called? This one is called Nude Model, I believe. It's this like shimmery purple. I have blue eyes, so I like purple on me. So what I do is I just use my fingers for this first part. Take my pointer finger and I just dip it into the color that I am using, get some on my finger. And what I do for my eyes is I do the darker shade on the outside and then the lighter shade on the inside, and then I blend them together. So try to come in a little bit closer so you can see. So what I do is I get some on my finger and then I just start tapping the color on the outside of my eyelid, like so. And then I will do a second layer. I'll start packing it on depending on how dark I want it for the day. And then I just do the same thing on the other side. So I do like half dark and then half light, and I'll blend them together. So on the other side, hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I go about like mid pupil for the dark. And I only keep this on my eyelid. I don't go above my eyelid. I don't go into my crease. I do like naturally because my finger just sort of puts it there, but I don't blend it into my crease. And sometimes I accidentally go a little farther than what I want to, but then I just blend the lighter color on the top and it blends together. What I take is my Old Faithful, the Blossom Glow, the Wet n Wild highlighting powder. This thing is so old, I have the lid taped on, but it's one of my favorites. So I just take some of this, put my finger in it, my ring finger this time, not my pointer, but my ring finger, and I put the lighter color all over the inside. So I just start taking it and I just start dabbing it on the inside of my eyelid, and then I'll also take some and put some in the inner corner as well, like this. And then I take this a little higher up to meet my crease, but I don't like blend it into the crease. And then I just do the same thing on the other side with my ring finger. I'll just go in and start patting it on. I also put some in my inner corner too. And then I'll just sort of blend it underneath just a little bit. What I do once the light is on is I go back in with the darker shade, the shimmery purple, on my finger, and then I'll just sort of like tap over the light that I blended onto the dark. I take a big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M504 brush, and then I just take whatever powder I have. Sometimes I'll use the L'Oreal Infallible, sometimes I'll use like a lighter powder. This is the Park Avenue Princess Chisel Palette from Tarte. I got it a long time ago. As you can see, it is well loved as well. But I've just been taking the two colors right here and mixing them so they're not too peachy and not too yellow, and blend out the purple and the lighter color. When you're doing makeup, you always want to make sure there's no harsh lines anywhere, because that's how you can make it the most natural looking. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that again on the other side. And I'm just going right on the outside. I'm not going on my lid. I'm just going right on the edges of the purple and the pink color. That way there's not any harsh lines on my eyes. So then, because there is fallout from my fingers, I take my blush brush or my powder brush again, and I just sort of like clean up underneath of my eyes so there's no purple or pink shimmers on my cheeks. And then for my eyebrows, I don't really do much with them. I don't ever get my eyebrows done like professionally. I always do them myself, but I do need to do them. Like, I need to pluck them at home. I don't have time for that today, so we're just going to pretend like my eyebrows don't need done. So I usually go in with the NYX Professional Makeup Micro Brow Pencil. This is in taupe. I don't like my eyebrows to look too dark. This is actually too light for my eyebrows, but I've noticed that whenever I use a lighter shade, my eyebrows don't look too dark, because your eyebrows should be a shade lighter than your hair. So obviously you don't have to go by that if you don't want to, but I've noticed that whenever I have darker eyebrows, my face looks really heavy, and I don't like that because I have pretty thick and coarse eyebrows to begin with, so I don't like to fill them in too much. What I do, even whenever they need plucked, tweezed, I don't really like the word plucked, but anyway, even whenever I need to do them at home, I like to put a little bit on the outside here and just sort of like fill in the tail, because that's where it's more sparse for me, is the tail. Same thing over here. I'll just sort of like do the outside, and then sometimes I'll do the inside too, but I'm not going to do too much today. I've done a get ready with me in a different video too, and I used the, actually I might even have it in here. Oh, I used this one. This is the NYX, the Brow Glue in Taupe. This stuff makes my eyebrows so sticky and so itchy, and it's uncomfortable. So I'm not necessarily using this one anymore. Maybe I'll use this like for an event whenever I need my makeup to last and stay for a long period of time, like stay looking good for a long period of time. Maybe I'll use it, but I'm not going to get rid of it, but I'm also not going to be using it anytime soon. So I recently switched back to the NYX Control Freak Clear Brow Gel. I also don't put a whole lot of this on my eyebrows, but whenever I do, it doesn't make my eyebrows itch. So I just take this and lightly brush through my eyebrows just to make them stay put and stay down and not look all crazy. So that's all I do for my eyebrows. Super simple. And then for mascara, I'm gonna do this off camera because my mascara takes forever, but I'll check in with you after each I guess layer. Typically I will use the and also while I was a waitress, I got a compliment on my eyelashes from a guy, which was a little strange. Made me feel a little weird, but he was like, your eyelashes, what do you use on them? And his wife was sitting right there. Anyways, it made me uncomfortable for my eyelashes since I get compliments on them in person and online. I use either one of these. This one, I have used the Essence Lash Princess one. I like it, but it's really hard to get off, and I've noticed whenever I use this one over a period of time, my eyelashes tend to get like brittle and break, and they get super short. So I just don't think that this one really agrees with my eyelashes. So I don't really use that one too much. And it's almost gone. But anyway, I either use the L'Oreal Telescopic in black, I believe. Yeah, this one's in black, non-waterproof. I don't really use waterproof too much unless I'm going to an event. And even then, it is so hard to get off. And I don't really have much problem with not using waterproof if I don't get super sweaty and things like that. But anyway, I use this one. And then I also use the L'Oreal Lash Paradise one. This is like Old Faithful. I've been using this for years and years. This is almost gone. Today I'm going to be using the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. This is what the brush looks like. I really like the brush because it's super small and like thin, and there's not a whole lot of like bristles on it. But what I do is I just layer this on and then I let it dry, and usually I do between 2 and 3 coats on the top. I only put one light coat on the bottom because I notice whenever I put too much on the bottom of my eyelid or on the bottom of my eyes, it looks really heavy. So I do like between 2 and 3 coats on the top, and then one light layer on the bottom. What I do first is I go on the outside and I close my eyes as I do it, and I wiggle up like this. And also, if you have really long eyelashes and you find yourself getting mascara on your eyelid, you can tilt your head back and open your eye, and you'll have a little bit more room to put on your mascara without getting it on your eyelid. All right, that is what the first coat of mascara looks like compared between both eyes. I'll do the other eye. So that is the first coat of mascara. I have nothing on the bottom yet. Now that it is dry, I'm going to go back in and do the second layer of mascara. Some days I do more mascara and some days I do less, just depending on whatever I'm feeling. Now that both coats are on, I'm going to just do a very light layer on the bottom. All right, and that is my makeup for the day. For lip gloss, I don't really use a ton of lip gloss throughout the day, but if I am going somewhere and I want to use some lip gloss, I use the Neutrogena Hydra Boost in the shade Radiant Rose. super pretty light pink color. This is typically what I have on when I'm filming as well. Just a super simple pink color. At this point, my hair is pretty much dried. It's just a little bit damp. So I'm sure you can see how much drier it is now. So what I'm gonna do is go back in with a hair dryer, take my round brush and dry these little pieces underneath because they get kind of wavy and crazy looking. So I'm just gonna briefly dry underneath of my hair. Disregard my background because I am about to start filming a cleaning video as well today. But first things first, I had to get ready for the day. So that's why I'm filming this before I clean my kitchen. But this is what my makeup looks like. If you guys want to see how I curl my hair, I'll share that in a different video. I just didn't have a whole lot of time to get ready. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me today while I got ready. If you have any comments or questions, definitely leave them in the description box below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you are new here, this is sort of like a different video that I post, but typically on my channel I post videos about motherhood and being a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom. I do cleaning content, I do grocery hauls, and I also do get it all done videos where I take you throughout my day as a homemaker and a stay-at-home mom. So if those kind of things interest you, I'd love to have you subscribe and stick around. And if you are a regular viewer and subscriber, I really appreciate your support and thank you so much for being here. I will see you in my next video.